Hi students, welcome to another class, and today we are going to talk about nutrition in plants. Now, nutrition as a topic is very important and is examined in exams. So I'm asking that you take a pen and a booklet and you can make some short notes. And also ensure you subscribe to this channel so that you can be able to get more videos that I'm going to post in the near future. So welcome and let's begin. So I'm going straight to nutrition and I'm going to give the meaning of nutrition. Now, in the exam, if you're asked what is nutrition for 1 mark, you'd say it is the process by which living organisms obtain nutrients and assimilate them. Full stop. So you just say in summary, it is a process by which living organisms acquire or obtain nutrients and assimilate them. The keywords in that definition are obtain or acquire. And also another keyword there is assimilate, the process by which living organisms acquire nutrients and assimilate them. Very, very important. Now, what is a nutrient? A nutrient is any substance that is required for the nourishment of an organism. Any substance, for example, it can be a protein, it can be a carbohydrate, it can be a fat. So all these substances, carbohydrates, proteins, fats, they are nutrients in the body. These nutrients or these types of foods that I've mentioned, they are a source of energy. They nourish the body. They also act as a source of energy for the body, and also they act as structural components of the body. For example, proteins and lipids or fats, they form part of the structure of the cell membrane, so they act as structural components. Very, very important. Now, having said that, I want us to move on and we talk about types or modes of nutrition. Types or modes of nutrition. Now students, I want you to know that there are only 2 modes of nutrition. There are 2 modes of nutrition depending on the way the organism obtains the food that it is going to feed on. Now we have 2 modes of nutrition. 1, autotrophism. Number 2, heterotrophism. So those are the 2 main modes or types of nutrition. Autotrophism, pay attention to the spellings of autotrophism, and 2, heterotrophism. So pay attention to the spelling of those 2 terms that I've mentioned there. So there are 2 types of nutrition or modes of nutrition. So far I have mentioned the 2 main modes. We have autotrophism and heterotrophism. So those are the only modes of nutrition that we have. Now I want us to move on and talk about each of these, and I'm going to begin with autotrophism. In the examination, usually the examiner will ask a student, define autotrophism for 1 mark. In case you'll be asked this question in the exam, you say, autotrophism refers to a mode of nutrition in which living organisms manufacture their own complex food substances using simple raw materials. Very, very important. Pay attention to the key words in that definition. Complex food substances, a mode of nutrition. So, autotrophism is a mode of nutrition in which living organisms manufacture their own complex food substances using simple raw materials. Very, very important. Now, the living organisms usually manufacture their own complex food materials from simple raw materials. So these organisms, they obtain simple raw materials like water, for example, and carbon dioxide, and they manufacture something that is so complex. Complex food substances will be manufactured at the end during autotrophism. The raw materials, the simple raw materials can be water, it can be carbon dioxide, and the energy that is used to manufacture these complex food substances is obtained from chemical energy or it can be obtained from light. So we can use light energy to manufacture the simple complex food substances, or we can use chemical energy through oxidation of chemicals. Then the complex food substances can be manufactured in that way. Now that is very, very important. Now there is another term I wanted to talk about: autotrophs. We have said autotrophism is a mode of nutrition. Then we have this term autotrophs, from the word autotrophism, autotrophs. When we are talking about autotrophs, these are living organisms that make their own food. Yeah. Living organisms that make their own food are called autotrophs. Examples, we have green plants. Green plants, they manufacture their own food, therefore they are autotrophs. Or we have photosynthetic bacteria and algae. Photosynthetic bacteria and green algae, they also manufacture their own food, so therefore they are autotrophs. Students, I hope you have understood the meaning of autotrophism and the meaning of autotrophs. So they are related, but they mean something different. Autotrophism is a mode of nutrition in which living organisms manufacture their own complex food substances using simple raw materials. Autotrophs, they are living organisms that make their own food, e.g. green plants. Remember, in the examinations, you must give an example. Very, very good. I want us to move on. And I'm going to say something under autotrophism. Now, autotrophism is divided into two. Autotrophism is divided into two types, and depending on the source of energy that is used in the formation of the complex food substances, autotrophism therefore is divided into photosynthesis and chemosynthesis. This division depends on the source of energy that is used in the formation of the food substances. Now, it is very simple. When we are talking about chemosynthesis and photosynthesis, the energy that is going to be used to manufacture the food substance in chemosynthesis is obtained from oxidation of chemicals. During chemosynthesis, the energy used for making food or the complex food substances is obtained from oxidation of chemicals, and this energy can be used now to manufacture complex food substances. Now, chemosynthesis is carried out by non-green plants and some bacteria. So most of the non-green plants, they do not have something that is called chlorophyll, which can trap light energy. Because they do not have chlorophyll, they carry out chemosynthesis so that they can get energy from oxidation of chemicals. On the other hand, photosynthesis, when we are talking about photo, the word photo means light. So the energy that is used in making the food substances is obtained from light. So photosynthesis involves using light energy to manufacture complex food substances, like when we are talking about green plants. So in simple terms, photosynthesis is a process by which living organisms make their complex food substances using simple raw materials in the presence of light energy. Very important. And this light energy is used in the manufacture of food. For example, in green plants, I have given you an example. They have the leaves, and these leaves mainly carry out photosynthesis. Very, very important. So those are the two types of autotrophism. We have photosynthesis and we have chemosynthesis. Very, very important. Now, students, if you have understood those two types of autotrophism, I want us to move on and talk about the other mode of nutrition, which is called heterotrophism. Now, usually in the examinations, you'll be required to distinguish autotrophism from heterotrophism. So what is this that we are talking about? What is heterotrophism? If you'll be asked what is heterotrophism, you would say heterotrophism is a mode of nutrition that involves taking in ready-made complex food materials. A mode of nutrition which involves taking in ready-made complex food materials, e.g. carbohydrates, proteins, and lipids. Now, organisms that feed on already synthesized food materials, they are called heterotrophs. Heterotrophs. So, these organisms, they feed on carbohydrates, which are already made, fats, which are already synthesized, and proteins, which are already synthesized. So, like in autotrophism, you need to distinguish heterotrophism from heterotrophs. Heterotrophism is a mode of nutrition that involves taking in ready-made complex food materials. Is a mode of nutrition. But heterotrophs are organisms that feed on already synthesized food substances. Those are heterotrophs. Organisms that feed on already made food materials, e.g. fats. They feed on proteins, they feed on carbohydrates. They are heterotrophs. While heterotrophism is a mode of nutrition which involves taking in ready-made complex food materials. So there is a relationship there. Ensure you are able to differentiate. Very, very important. Now, students, up to that point, we have looked at nutrition. We have looked at the modes of nutrition, autotrophism and heterotrophism. We have also looked at autotrophs. Autotrophs, organisms that make their own food materials. And we have looked at heterotrophs, organisms that feed on already synthesized food materials. Very, very important. We have also looked at the two types of autotrophism. We have photosynthesis and we have chemosynthesis. Now, up to that point, I want us to move on, but I'm going to give you an assignment because up to that point, I think we have covered almost a lot concerning the modes of nutrition and what nutrition is, and we have looked at types of autotrophism. So I'm just going to give you a small simple assignment as your homework. Ensure you attempt these questions and see whether you have understood what we have been discussing. Now, my assignment is very simple. Define the following terms as used in biology, 5 marks. Terminology number 1, nutrition. Nutrition, you get 1 mark. Terminology number 2, autotrophism, you get 1 mark. Terminology number 3, heterotrophism, you get 1 mark. Terminology number 4, photosynthesis, you get 1 mark. Terminology number 5, chemosynthesis, you get 1 mark. Students, up to that point, I've come to the end of our class, and I want to thank you for watching and listening. Ensure that you subscribe to this channel so that you can be able to get more videos that I'm going to post regarding chemistry, regarding biology. And in our next class, we are going to look at the external structure of a leaf. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you can be notified when I upload a new video. Thank you for now, and bye bye.